Welcome back to Namely 90s Minute. Every week we look back at a culturally relevant show, movie, or piece of pop culture that probably helps stoke the algorithm. This week, in honor of Fargo Season 5, we're looking back at the movie that started it all, Fargo. Fargo is a 1996 dark comedy crime film from the brothers that made The Big Lebowski. The film stars three billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri as Police Chief Marge Gunderson, the dad from Jurassic Park 3 as Jerry, How Do You Do Fellow Kids meme as Carl, Dieter Stark from The Lost World Jurassic Park as Gare, and Drew Carey's brother as Norm. Set in 1987, the story revolves around Jerry, an executive sales manager at a Minneapolis car dealership owned by his father-in-law. Jerry is desperate for money, so he plots to have his wife, Jean, kidnapped and meets with two criminals, Carl and Gare, in Fargo, North Dakota to do the job. He gives them a new Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra and promises them half of the $80,000, which he claims would be the ransom amount. In the meantime, Jerry pitches his father-in-law on a lucrative real estate deal and believes he'll get $7,500,000 from him, so he then tries to call off the kidnapping. Unfortunately, Jerry's father-in-law intends to cut Jerry out of the deal and only offer him a modest finder's fee. The criminals kidnap Jerry's wife anyway and take her out to a remote cabin, but on the way, a state trooper from Brainerd stops them for not displaying a temporary license plate on the new car. The trooper hears the kidnap victim in the back and then is shot by Gare, and he also kills two more passerby witnesses. The Brainerd Police Chief Marge Gunderson, who is 7 months pregnant, begins investigating the incident, and eventually it leads her to the dealership Jerry works at, but Jerry tells her no cars are missing from the lot. In light of the other murders, Carl demands Jerry give them all of the $80,000. Jerry tells his father-in-law that the kidnappers have demanded $1 million and will only deal through him, but his father-in-law insists on being the courier of the ransom. They meet in a parking garage, but he refuses to hand over the money without seeing his daughter, so Carl shoots and kills him and a parking attendant, but gets shot as well. Carl leaves the parking lot with the ransom money and heads back to the cabin. On the way, he finds the $1 million in the briefcase, takes out $80,000, and then buries the rest in the snow by the highway. Back at the cabin, Carl finds that Gare killed their captive because she wouldn't be quiet. They decide to split up but have an argument about who takes the car, and Gare ends up killing Carl with an axe. After Marge learns she was lied to by an old high school friend she visited while in Minneapolis, she decides to revisit the car dealership where Jerry nervously tells her there's no car missing, and he then flees, so she puts an APB out on him. She follows her leads out near the kidnapping cabin and finds Gare feeding Carl's body to a wood chipper, so she shoots and arrests him. Jerry also gets arrested outside Bismarck, North Dakota. Marge then returns home to her husband and waits for the birth of her child. And that's Fargo in a Namely 90s Minute. More or less. Join us again next Tuesday for another Namely 90s Minute. Remember, you can always hear these a day early in full episodes of Namely 90s on all major podcasting platforms, and most of the small ones too. Please subscribe and do all the other YouTube things, bell ring, share, like, subscribes, that sort of stuff, and we'll catch you next time.